I'm hopeful to get another cowboy hat on Sunday. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but you got to jumbo size it. Your signature style, your signature move.
True, true. Maybe I could find one of those.
NASCAR playoff points leader William Byron joins the show to talk round of 12, 2024 schedule rumors, and much more. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to a special episode of Out of the Groove. William Byron joins the show. I want to give a huge thank you to one of William Byron's longtime sponsors, Liberty University, for helping make this video possible. Really appreciate William calling in from Texas Motor Speedway ahead of this weekend's round of 12 opener. We covered a lot of ground. I hope you guys enjoy hearing from, currently the NASCAR Cup Series points leader, now that the points have reset ahead of a new, potentially wild round of 12. I am joined now by William Byron. He needs no introduction. He's driving the number 24 Liberty University Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. Also, with the points resetting, you're back atop the points lead, William. Thanks for being on the show. It's great to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We're just got into Texas here a couple hours ago and excited for the weekend. It's gonna be hot, so it'll be a tough weekend, but we're ready for it.
Yeah, I looked at the weather. I'm so sorry. I'm local Texan. It's high 90s. We have not caught a break in months, so I'm sorry you have to go through it.
Yeah, that's part of it. I was here a couple weeks ago for an appearance with PBR, and it was it was like 103. So it's a little less than that, but it's still up there.
Goodness gracious, yeah. Can never escape it out here. Now, speaking of Texas, I've got a lot of questions, playoff-related questions for you, William, but I've been thinking about this all week long. I have to ask you, do you have a big cowboy hat on standby in case you win on Sunday afternoon?
Man, I would love a cowboy hat. I know that they gave me one a couple weeks back when I did that appearance, and then I've got one from the Truck Series days, but I'm not sure honestly where that is anymore. So I'm hopeful to get another cowboy hat on Sunday. That would be awesome. Definitely a signature Texas victory celebration.
Yeah, but you got to jumbo size it. Your signature style, your signature move.
True, true. Maybe I could find one of those.
I was thinking about trying to get one of your big hats to wear for this interview, but it wasn't going to fit over my headset, so I scrapped that plan.
Understandable.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the round of 12 here. What's the biggest wild card race in this round? I know everyone points at Talladega. Some might say the Charlotte Roval. But is there a track in this round you think fans should keep the closest eye on?
I mean, all of them are tough in their own way. This track in itself is difficult. It's it's a little bit edgier than most mile and a halves. It's started to get some age, and it really has kind of a groove and a half, two grooves to run on. So hopefully we're utilizing those grooves and can pass pretty well. But it's unique in its own right. And then obviously Talladega is tough. I mean, I think Talladega is the toughest one of the rounds just because the next gen car is so equal on super speedways. It's difficult to have much of an advantage, and it's very strategic oriented. So strategy plays a huge role. Fuel mileage plays a role. So it's tough to get to the front. And then when you do, it's all about getting pushed and pushing. So I think that one stands out. And then the Roval, I think, is kind of, it's its own beast, but it's a very typical road course at this point. We have good setups, good notes for it. So we're pretty used to the Roval at this point.
Yeah. Texas this weekend, I worry about it because of all the tire failures we saw last year. I know Goodyear's bringing a different right side tire. Do you think that will make a difference in the race this season?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I doubt that we'll see as many issues. I still think there's possibility to see a couple issues, but it seems like the numbers this year have been down quite a bit in terms of tire failures. But we still have 2 or 3 a weekend. So it's just the way the product of this car and the way the setups are and just being aggressive there. So it's tough, but hopefully our guys have it fine tuned and we can keep all the air in the tires.
Yeah, of course. That's always the plan. Bigger picture, you've made the playoffs before. You're not new at this, but Does it feel any different this season now that you're at the top of the grid? You've got some of the most playoff points.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a little different just in how we've ran throughout the year. I think this is definitely our strongest season coming into the playoffs. We still had a bit of a slump in the summer, results wise, but I feel like we never really hit a much of a valley in terms of our speed. So I felt like we maintained a good amount of speed throughout the year, and we've had fast cars capable of running in the top five most weekends. So it's just a matter of executing those weekends. And yeah, I mean, I've got experience. This isn't new to me, and I feel like all the excitement and drama around the playoffs isn't really new to me. So I'm just focused on trying to keep focus on results and try to work our way through this round. It's a tough round, but once you get through this round, I feel like it really opens up opportunity after that.
You mentioned focus right there. From an outsider's perspective, watching you these last few years, I feel like you've always been one of the most focused, steadier, kind of consistent drivers, even as you've sort of learned and grown and found your way. So take me back to your rookie season. Like, what advice would you give your 2018 self if you could?
Oh man, I mean, there's a lot of things I could probably write a book on it, but I think, yeah, I mean, for me, I have gotten that label of being consistent. I personally feel like we're not as consistent as we could be, still. So I think there's still some room to improve, but that's always what I've tried to pride myself on is consistent results, continuing to run the top 10, top five, and get wins. And I feel like we've just had a steady progression since my rookie year. But I don't know. I think in my rookie year, just understanding how to communicate with the crew chief, understanding how to work with the engineers, utilizing all the tools and resources that I have there to improve. I would have done all those things better. And then I think ultimately just being a little more patient with myself and not carrying so much of the burden of our performance, because ultimately it's a team sport. There's a lot of aspects that have to go well. So I think not carrying so much of the burden, week to week of trying to perform.
I mean, you were really young when you got into the Cup Series, and I know it wasn't like a super new or unusual thing even back then. But I'm curious your take on this. Like, you see now a lot of young drivers like Ty Gibbs, Harrison Burton, potentially like Carson Hocevar. We've seen him the last couple weeks. These guys are also like 20, 21, 22 years old, kind of like you were. Like, do you think racing in trucks or Xfinity is as beneficial now as it was, versus like before the next gen car came around?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not the true measure of somebody's talent. Just taking what they do in Xfinity or taking what they do in the Truck Series, like that's not a true measure of everything that's going on. I look at more of their entire body of work, how long have they been racing, how many short track races have they done, are they weathered enough, like are they old enough to go through the experiences working with numerous crew chiefs, numerous teams, and know how to communicate what they need in the car. So I think you look at Hocevar and Zane Smith. I mean, they've been around for a while now. They're pretty weathered, albeit they're in the Truck Series right now, full time. They've had enough opportunities here and there, Cup Series, Xfinity, late models, all across the board, to where I feel like they're really experienced and knowledgeable about what they need in the car. And you got to take into account also those guys are doing a lot of sim work for manufacturers.
Mhm.
I know Carson does a lot of work in the Chevy sim, so he knows the next gen car, albeit in a simulator. He knows what it should feel like and what it should do. So I think all those resources are great. I think if I were to redo my path, I would take a few more years, be doing do the simulator for a cup team, take all those opportunities in and try to race as much as I can. And I feel like when you get to 21, 22, you would have a lot more of an idea of how ready you truly are. So that's what I look at. Those guys have taken the reps, done all the things that they need to do. So I feel like they're obviously ready.
That's super interesting. Yeah, well, obviously the path you took has worked out pretty well. You've had success, looking like one of the championship favorites this year. Looking ahead to Texas this weekend, you've got a good-looking Liberty University scheme. Someone over at thedailydownforce.com who I work with recently, actually recently graduated from Liberty University. I got to ask you, how often do you run into Liberty University grads? Do you ever give them any sort of special love or shout out at the track when you see them?
Yeah, we do run into a lot of Liberty grads. Liberty University is such a big school now with the online, you know, program that they have. It's pretty huge. It's around 90 to 100,000 students, I believe. So it's pretty big, and obviously the on-campus community that they have as well. So I feel like I do run into race fans and even people in the garage that have engineering jobs or roles inside the sport that went to Liberty. So it's a pretty big community. It's good to see their reach and also see the jobs that they provide, for people in the racing industry that, have gotten their education there and taken that and ran with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, obviously we know how important, sponsor support is, but I know what's cool with you is that you and Liberty University kind of go beyond just racing. Can you talk a little bit more about how Liberty has just impacted your life beyond just your career?
Yeah, I've had a major connection with Liberty University for a few years, and just working with the academic side, and also the sports side, getting to know the football coaches and all the different sports at Liberty. So it's been really cool to have such a connection, and obviously going to online schooling with them over the years has been a huge deal. That's progressed my education, and I'm working towards finishing my degree in strategic communication. So it's cool to take classes on there when I can, and hopefully I can get that degree to have something to look back on and also look forward to once I'm hopefully done driving, hopefully a long time from now, but it'd be cool to have something to use.
That's awesome. I have one final kind of fun question for you, William. With all the schedule rumors swirling in recent weeks, what's one track that you would like to see on next year's schedule that may at least be realistic?
Man, that's a tough one. I honestly, I don't really have any idea what the schedule is going to look like for sure, but obviously heard all the rumors that everyone else has. And I really like Montreal, watching that race from afar as a kid. It was really cool. It's a great F1 race and great atmosphere up there. So I would love to go race up there in Canada, and see how that is. So I look forward to that if that's the case, if we go there, and that's definitely high on my bucket list. And then I'd say a couple other ones, just the traditional tracks that we've always had in NASCAR, and but I'm all for traveling to different countries, and hopefully Canada or other ones are in the cards.
Yeah, I'm with you. Fingers crossed about Montreal. I think that would be really a really cool event for the series. William, that's going to do it for me. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us a little bit. Good luck the rest of the way in these playoffs. We'll be watching out.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Again, a huge thank you to Liberty University for helping make this interview possible. Thank you to William again for spending some time with us here on Out of the Groove. That's going to do it for this episode. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more videos like this one. We talk NASCAR. Sometimes we talk to NASCAR stars every single day. And as always, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. I will see y'all tomorrow night after the Texas playoff race. Hopefully we'll have lots to talk about. See y'all then.